I want to show you a powerful tool that you can use for researching your audience. If you have a new product, or if you just want to see what's working for other people in your industry, the Facebook Audience Insight tool is a powerful way to look at data that's going to help you market to your audience better. In order to use the Facebook Audience Insights panel, you're going to need to set up an ad account. You need to set up all the way through adding your credit card, but you don't actually need to spend any money in order to have full access, so this is still a free method. When you first access the Facebook Audience Insights, you should see a few ways to start. You can select everyone on Facebook, people connected to your page, or custom audience. Custom audience is only available if you have a Facebook pixel or you've set up some sort of custom audience in the past. For today, let's start with everyone on Facebook. By default, it's going to select your country. If you have a product that should be sold locally, or if you have an area of service, I recommend narrowing it down to a country or a region. Next, you'll see age and gender, interests, connections, which includes things that are connected to your page. There's also advanced options such as language, relationship status, education, work, market segments, which is going to go through ethnicity, parents, so you can select by age of their children, political status, or different life events, such as they're away from family, away from hometown, or they've recently moved. If you're just getting started with your business and you don't know your audience very well, I recommend just using the interests to start with. So for this example, let's say that I'm starting a new probiotic drink company. I know that my audience is going to also be interested in kombucha. So let's type that in. I could add in multiple things, but to keep this a speedy demo, I'm going to narrow it down to just that. One thing to note in any section is the gray background is what's normal for Facebook. So you can see that you can hover over any section to get more specific data. For example, women 18 to 24 are 9.7% of the selected audience. But 15% of Facebook users are women 18 to 24. This is a great way to see relative data and to see how significant it is to your product or service. You can also see relationship status, education level, and job title. Job title is something very valuable to me in a lot of service-based industries. For example, I can see community and social service is a very represented group in my audience that's interested in kombucha. That tells me that if I can get in front of them, that my product is likely to do better. By default, you'll see your top 10, but sometimes it's better to take a look at all of the information because it'll also show you people who are not interested in your product. So, if we go all the way down to the bottom, we can see demographics that are unlikely to use my product. If we look at the very bottom, we can see that military is a demographic that wouldn't be a good idea for me to target, especially off the get-go. Back at the top, let's explore some of the other options. I'm going to save page likes for last because it's the biggest section and my favorite. Let's look at location. If I'm starting out a brand new kombucha company, looking at the location of people who are interested in that product is a great way to see where I should do ad targeting. So if I look here, Eugene, Oregon, Evansville, Indiana, Portland, Oregon, Boulder, Colorado, those are all places that are very interested in kombucha. Once again, I can scroll all the way down and see areas that are not interested in my product. For example, Virginia Beach, Memphis, Tennessee, and Columbus, Ohio are all places where it probably wouldn't be a good idea for me to do a lot of ad targeting. Languages can be a great tool. Sometimes I see unexpected results. In this example, I can see 95% of people who are interested in kombucha in the United States speak English. That tells me that my marketing budget is best used on English language ads. I can see that a very small 2% speak Spanish, so if I was to open it up to another language, it would be Spanish, but that probably wouldn't be a great marketing choice for this product. Next, we have activity. This dashboard is not going to be very useful to a product like kombucha, but if you are a software developer, this information is going to be very useful. So for example, you can see how active a certain audience is on Facebook. For this audience, I can see that on average, they like 4 pages, but they have a lot of interaction with pages. This tells me that my audience is pretty active on Facebook, and so it's going to be a good idea for me to spend some money marketing to them on Facebook. Next, you can see what types of devices they're using. For example, I can see if they usually use desktops or mobile devices, and I can see what types of devices they use. For example, I can see a large portion of my audience uses iPhones. This tells me that if I was releasing some sort of app, I should start by releasing it for iPhone and then consider other platforms after I've mastered that one. Now let's go to my favorite section, page likes. Here we can see where our customers are shopping, different information about what they're doing on the internet, and what their other interests are. So let's go ahead and click on See All. Here we can see where they're shopping. They're shopping at Mountain Rose Herbs and Whole Foods Markets. That tells me that if I want my kombucha to succeed, those are 2 grocery chains that I should definitely consider. I can also see what types of websites they're going on: Nourished Kitchen and Homestead and Survival. Looking at that, I can see that it would be a great idea for me to do advertising on one of these websites. If I scroll down some more, I can see food and beverage companies that my customers are interested in. For example, Earthbound Farm, So Delicious, Applegate, Blue Apron, and Keurig. This tells me that I should go scope out those different companies because it'll give me some ideas of how to successfully market to my audience. Here we can see other food and beverage companies that they're interested in. You can see Earthbound Farm, So Delicious Dairy Free, Applegate, Blue Apron, and Keurig. If I take a look at those companies, I'm going to get a lot of information about how to market to my customers. So if I explore them, I'll be able to see what types of ads work, what sorts of posts resonate well, and what my customers are interested in. These are competitors that I know successfully market to my audience. Scrolling down, we're going to see some of my favorite sections. For example, public figures. We see Food Babe, Dr. Josh Axe, Dr. Joseph Mercola, Medical Medium, and Clean Food Crush. These are all people that would be great influencers if I had the budget to hire an influencer. I can also see health and wellness websites, and these would all be very valuable places for me to spend marketing budget. Now, depending on your industry, you'll probably see a lot more bloggers. Bloggers are one of the great ways that you can get in front of your audience, and if you can do some sort of sponsored post, or if you can do an affiliate marketing campaign with them, it's a really great way. One of my favorite things to look at when I'm looking at audience insight is personal blogs that my fans like. Often this can be an extremely powerful way for me to get in front of my audience if I can do an affiliate marketing campaign with that blogger. I recommend going through each of these sections and seeing what's really relevant. It's a great way to start thinking about avenues of marketing, and it's a great way to explore what's working for your audience, as these are the people who are winning at marketing in front of your target audience. If we scroll down, we can also see page likes. You'll see in my search for people interested in kombucha, GT Kombucha is the top page. That tells me that not only are they really relevant to my audience, this is a competitor that I should look at because they are doing an excellent job. This tells me that I should look at what they're doing on marketing because they are definitely winning. I can also see other pages and companies that might be great partnerships. For example, Nourished Kitchen. If we could do some sort of partnership with Nourished Kitchen, that would be an extremely valuable route for my brand. The Audience Insight Panel is one of the most valuable research tools that I have when it comes to marketing. I recommend that you go in and start exploring. You'll be surprised at how much information you can get just by putting in interests and looking at what your competitors are doing.